I've done this video like 12 times at this point, so okay, we're just narrowing this down to list form because otherwise I just talk way too much. So, in preschool and early childhood up through, I'm going to say around kindergarten, first grade, I just read a lot. My parents read to me when I was a little kid, and so that's what started me on the whole reading obsession. I am told that the first two books that I ever memorized are Wynken, Blynken, and Nod, which is an old children's poem, and then Winnie the Pooh's A to Z, which I remember reading that one, but not Wynken, Blynken, and Nod because I was like 2 at the time, apparently, and I just don't have memories from then. But I read those like it was nobody's business. I also read a lot of the Good Dog Carl series, which I don't know if you would technically call it reading because they don't have any words, it's just pictures, and you kind of make up your own story as you go along. And then I read Arthur once I started being able to like do more with words, so around like the preschool age. I read a lot of The Magic School Bus, and I watched a lot of The Magic School Bus too. And then I read a lot of Eric Carle books, like The Very Hungry Caterpillar, The Very Quiet Cricket, The Grouchy Ladybug, things like that. Those were great. And then I also read, I remember, A Bad Case of Stripes, which used to scare the bejesus out of me as a child because I was like, what if I get stripes? And I then realized that wasn't an actual disease. Oopsies. From first grade till 3rd or 4th grade, we'll say, I did a lot of chapter book reading. I read this book called Wolfgang Amadeus Mauss that I distinctly remember because it was about a mouse that played piano, and he was named after Mozart, and it was just a really pleasant book to read. He really likes chocolate. He makes a phone call to like save a woman. It's super cute. I love reading it. I also got really into a series of books, so I read a lot of the Wayside School series. I read Mary Kate and Ashley because they were really, really popular at the time, and then I also had this obsession with Titanic, so I read a lot of books on the Titanic and sunken ships and things like that, and I had an obsession with gemstones, so I read a lot of books on just rocks and sparkly things, and it was really, really dorky of me, but whatever. And then 4th through 6th grade, I actually skipped out on a lot of childhood classics because I have started doing ER or AR tests, and they just started doing reading placement tests, and they found out that I was in a 12th grade reading level in 6th grade, so they were like, you need to read upper level stuff. And so I missed out on things like the Chronicles of Narnia and Where the Red Fern Grows and stuff that you should probably read, but I just never have. In place of that, I read my first book by Shakespeare, or play by Shakespeare, and things like that. But I do remember reading the Harry Potter series because we just kind of randomly picked it up at a book fair because everyone was reading them, and my mom brought it home, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool! And then I was really excited because I knew in like 3 years I would be getting my letter to Hogwarts that I'm still waiting for. But you know, I can deal here in college for a while I wait. 7th and 8th grade, I really don't remember reading anything on my own. I read a lot of the Dear America series, I remember, just for fun. I also read Love That Dog by Sharon Creech, which got me introduced to a lot of poets. And then I also remember reading in class A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, which is pretty much the original Inception because you're not really sure if it's a dream or not. So if you ever kind of want to read that, it's a Mark Twain novel. So, you know, it's got that kind of satirical sense of humor. And then high school, I can easily identify my favorite books. Breakfast of Champions, Looking for Alaska, Paper Towns, not necessarily in that order. And then also Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, which I always kind of forget to throw in there, but I absolutely love it to death. And I also got really into Chuck Palahniuk for a while. My favorite book of his wasn't Fight Club, like most people would imagine. It was actually Diary, which is about an artist who's kind of struggling to deal with her abused past. And then I also got really into short stories because I found out that a lot of the teenage authors that were getting published really weren't that interesting or like mentally challenging to me. I got into the Twilight thing for a while, but like it didn't challenge me enough, and then I got really sick of romance novels, and it was weird. So I started reading books like Geektastic and 21 Proms and things like that were just collections of stories that some of them were really smart, some of them really weren't, but nonetheless it all balanced out really, really well. So that is the most possibly condensed version of lists that I can give you. Even recording this for like the millionth time, I'm thinking of new books. So if you ever need someone to get book recommendations from, I can be your girl. It's good because I want to be a librarian when I grow up, so yay, I know things to read. But yeah, Heather, I really hope that since we're getting adjusted to the quarter, your schedule goes better and you don't have to spend 12 hours at school anymore. And also, I was fascinated by the exit sign in your last video because it looked like you were sitting on the floor, but there was an exit sign behind you. I know you don't need to know that, but you do now. And Jessica, I'm happy you made it back to Chicago alive and that your delay kind of didn't suck as much as originally expected. So good luck as you start school, Chica. I will see you guys later this week because it's Sunday, and I hope tomorrow and the rest of the days are awesome for you. Bye.